Hi everyone, I'm Anna Finch from Finch Press and the author of Voiceless, A Mermaid's Tale. Sorry for the delay about the live stream. It took longer than I thought to get my lunch from the shops. So I literally just came back after just scoffing down my food. Okay, so I'm going to do a couple of live sprints today, probably 3, maybe 4, depending on how we go. And depending on the number of people or people interested, after maybe a half an hour break, I'll probably reconnect the live stream and continue for another maybe hour or so. It really depends on viewers and your interests. Okay. Okay, so just a bit about my current progress. I am still behind for my personal goal, but I am actually very, very behind for my NaNoWRIMO goal, as in for the 50,000 on the website. I actually have to write 15,000 words, about 15,000 words this weekend in order to catch up enough that it's still possible for me to get the 50,000 words for NaNoWRIMO. I'm sitting at about 8,000, I think. Yeah, I'm sitting at about 8,000. I mean, I've written little bits, some words during the day while I was at work, when I'm supposed to be doing paperwork. But I've found this week, just in general, for the past 2 weeks, as soon as I come back from work, I'm just ready to collapse and sleep. So writing for my own, I can push and force myself to write, but the thing is, I am so mentally drained from my day job that writing is a challenge. And it's not just that. Last year, I was able to keep up, and I was at on track with the word goal because I was able to get the first amount of words done. I think I was able to get in the first day last November. I think I got 8,000 words in the first day, which meant missing 1 or 2 days wasn't that bad. And I could still, if I wrote a little bit each day, I could still catch up and still be on track for finishing the 50,000. But part of the reason why I was able to do it last year without getting so far behind was because of the in-person events. Because I wanted to show people what I had, talk with people about some ideas, and it motivated me, the in-person events. The online events, because it's all online, I might set an alarm and I'll go, all right, I'll sleep for a bit and I'll go on Zoom and talk with the people on Zoom 2 hours. And I'd find myself waking up at 6 a.m. the next day, missing that alarm. So there's been a lack of contact with other people in the NaNoWRIMO group. And the NaNoWRIMO group for Melbourne is very supportive, but because I collapse, I fall asleep as soon as I get home most days from work, and and joining the online Zooms and Google Meets and that isn't that much of a priority. And there's been stuff happening as well. I've been doing advertisements and marketing my debut novel, Voiceless. I had also been delaying the writing of the 5 essays I have to do for the key selection criteria for teaching. And I was originally actually going to be writing the key selection criteria in the live stream, because otherwise I wasn't going to get it done. And honestly, I was going to count the words from the essays for my Nano count, because it's words. It may not be for my Nano project, but it's necessary. Although I did get some good news from work, so now I don't need to make those essays. Yes. So there's that positive from work. So now I can actually focus on my story. Another thing, I've been basically watching a lot of YouTube videos rather than reading my books or doing any like videos. Particularly because I don't know if anyone's watched Supernatural, but Destiel is now canon. Castiel finally confessed his love to Dean, which is awesome. I've been waiting for that for like 11 years. Finally happened. Although it did kind of use the bury you gays trope, which is not so great. But there's still one episode to go. This comes from someone who hasn't been regularly watching Supernatural. Anyway, kind of gone on a tangent, but NaNoWRIMO wise, I am very far behind, and I have to force myself to write at least today 8,000 words. That way, if I write another 8,000 words tomorrow, I'm roughly at the same stage, and it means that I can just write a smaller amount than what the nano count says, because the nano count currently says I need to write 2,473 words a day. Yeah, I've got to catch up this weekend, because I know for a fact Tuesdays and Wednesdays especially, there is no way I will write 2,400 words, because I have meetings on those days, which means I stay at work until about 4:30 in the afternoon, and I don't get home until about 5:30 or 5:45. And by that stage, I come home, I'm just eating. I may eat something and I just collapse. So I've got to catch that up. Okay. Trying to think if there's any other, like, that's kind of where I'm at with Unspoken. I'm trying to think what else. Like, okay, there is this is an announcement for the book. There is going to be a Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale on Kobo from the 26th to the 30th of November. I'm also trying to I've organized it as well for that same sale on Apple and Barnes & Noble. Yeah, Apple and Nook. And I want to put it on KDP or Amazon and Google Play. Amazon, I actually have to wait until the day or an hour, maybe a day before, to actually put the sales prices in, because there's no button on there that will automatically upload any promos. Like, there's nothing for me to automatically set a promo and then for it to start and end on KDP, which isn't great. And if anyone from Amazon ever watches this, put that feature in. It will really help. It will encourage people to put more sales on KDP. Yeah, so there's that. So I've got to wait for that to set it, the price. And then I have to remember to change it back again on KDP. Google Play, I may be able to put the sale on. It really depends if I can get that promotion thing to work. The way promotions work on Google Play, by the way, is tricky, and it's super hard. Like, in Draft Digital, I literally just put the dates, my promo price for the different currencies, how long I want it for, what the name of the thing is, set it and forget it. Kobo, pretty much the same thing. Set and forget it. KDP, it's still easy enough to follow. You just put the prices in on the day, it will change. Google Play, I have to put the prices on a CSV file, which is a type of Excel file, Microsoft Excel sheets, Google Sheets type file, and upload that onto Google, put the dates on Google, and I keep on getting errors. It's a freaking nightmare. Anyway, sorry for the rant. So the sale will be for Black Friday, $2.99 in US, Canadian, Australian, and New Zealand and $1.99 in British pounds on those stores. At the very least, it will be on Kobo, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Apple. Yeah. Okay. You know what? I'm going to start a writing sprint. I'll probably do 15. I'll probably do about 15 minutes. I'm currently up to the 5th chapter for my book. So I'm currently in the male POVs. I'm writing in the male POV character. And I'm starting to hint at the antagonist for that male POV character. Because there are technically 2 antagonists in this story. There's the main antagonist for the female character, which is different to the antagonist for the male character. Eventually, the female character, at least I'm planning, the female character will realize that the true villain or true antagonist isn't the person that she thought. It's someone else, particularly the male antagonist. And the male protagonist, antagonist. I don't know if I'm making sense. So I've got a hint along those lines. All right. Okay, I'm gonna do a 15-minute. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna set a timer. For about 15 minutes to see how many words I can get. And then I'll go from there. All right. Actually, yeah, 15. I'll put 16 because by the time it takes me to 16. All right, I'll mute this. Welcome to my new viewer. Alright, so I'm just currently doing this writing sprint. You're more than welcome to join me. Okay, I've just got to calculate my words and upload it to Nano. Hold on. All right. I'll move that from the screen. How'd you go? I know you joined in a bit late. How'd you go with the words, writing words? I got 188 words this sprint, which isn't that bad. I was only just starting to get into it towards the end. Because I was just liking the funny banter between the two characters. Well, funny banter slash flirting between the two characters. Yeah, like hopefully by the end of this live stream, I might be able to get this chapter done. And then I've got to finish at least 3 more chapters today in order to catch up with my word count. Anyway, so how did you go, Mikhail? Okay. I'll do another riding sprint. How long would you like to do the riding sprint for? Okay, cool. Okay. That's all right. Well, you can join me in the next sprint. That's okay. Oh, who's Karen? Karen Barkesis. Ah, well, welcome, Karen, to my channel. And, oh, oh, hi, Faith. Right, so you want to do 15? Yeah, cool. Good morning. All right, welcome back. Yeah. Well, I hope you're ready to write. So we're going to be doing some writing sprints. Yeah. But welcome back, Faith. Alright. How long would you like to go for? I know Mikael says 15. You guys all right with doing 15? Okay. All right. You know what? Let's do 15. Okay. Oh, okay. Right, let's do 15. All right, I'll just mute myself. Yeah. All right. Okay, so let's see how many words I've got for this round. Okay, 187. So I've got literally one word less than last time. So that's pretty good. So I'm just going to put this on the NaNoWRIMO website. 187. We started that at 12. Okay. All right. So far, I've got 375 words for the day. Considering I've got to write 8,000 words today, it's not a bad start, but I'm probably going to be writing all day. Let me just put this back up. Let's see. Cool. You got 349. That's awesome. I'm really happy you got that much in that writing sprint. You must be a really fast writer. Ketaby, you got 196 words. That is pretty good. For 15 minutes of writing, that is pretty good. And yes, I do know how self-publishing works. I am actually a self-published author. Self-publishing will work differently depending on the country you're in. So I'm in Australia, so the kind of things we have to do is a little bit different. I'm trying to think of a couple of self-published authors that will have some pretty good YouTube videos. Abby Emmons has a pretty good channel, and she's got some advice for self-published authors. Jenna Moresi has a pretty good channel with some information for self-published authors, particularly in the US. Depends what area what country do you live in? The process for I'll just give a bit of an example. The process for the UK, New Zealand, and Australia are very similar. Okay, so all right. No, it's the self-publishing process is probably a little bit more easier in America because a lot of the companies are in America. So you'll actually have more options available to you. Because I live in Australia, the only real for print books, the only one that really works for me is Ingram Spark, which is paid, unfortunately. Whereas you can actually use Lulu, and as long as you have your tax information, you can pretty much just set it up an account and set up print and ebooks through Lulu for free. They also have they've got a deal or something with, I think, Shopify, so you can actually put the Shopify app on your website, and you can actually sell your books from your website, and pretty much get 100% of the royalties, which is pretty good. But with self-publishing, what's kind of the same between the US and Australia is that you do need to, well, you will need to be, it's called sole trader here in Australia. I think it's sole proprietor in the US, which basically means you have set up a legal identity. You may set up you will be trading as a sole proprietor in the US. You'll be trading under your name, so your actual birth name. If you decide you want to trade under a business name in the US, will need to set up an LLC, which will basically separate the individual from the business, which means that any liabilities or any debt that is occurred by the business is not put on your personal assets. I mean, it's still possible as a sole proprietor in the US for you to have like a business name, but what that means is you may be trading under a certain name or a business name, but your income from the sole proprietor, whether it's a business name or your own name, will be treated tax-wise as part of your individual taxes, which will make it easier for you to do tax. And that's the same in Australia, but it means any debts, any liabilities that is occurred through your author platform can be applied to your individual assets, which is not a great thing. I'm pretty sure in the US there are some fees involved with that. And yeah, so there's some fees. I've got a couple of videos about different platforms if you're interested, that you can have a look at on my channel. And I'm more than happy to answer any questions in like the comments. Okay. All right. We can, we'll do another writing sprint. How long would you like to go for? Oh, well, yeah, if you're already subscribed, you'll pretty much be able to see any videos I upload. Yeah, I've definitely got some about like the pros and cons of some of the platforms I've used for self-publishing and kind of how self-publishing works in Australia. Some of the information in the videos about the self-pub in Australia, it's can apply to the US, but for US specific information, I would probably listen to Jenna Moressi's videos, or yeah, Jenna Moressi, I think, is the big one that talks about self-publishing in the US. Yeah. You know what? Um, I'll probably do 15 again. We'll do 15 again. Yeah. All right. Let me set up. Oops. Okay. All right. Let me just set it up. So 15 minutes. Cool. Depending on how this goes, we may do either one or two more live sprints after this. Really up to you. No, I'll just mute myself. Good luck. All right. I've just got to count my words. Just give me a moment. I've got 141 words, which isn't bad for me. I was just starting to get back into it. All right. 141. Okay. All right. How did you go? Whoa, 418 words for this sprint. That's amazing. And you finally reached 25K. Congrats, you actually like ahead. Sweet. Now you reached your goal for today. That's awesome. That's good. I'm really happy for you guys. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm like super behind. I think I've just reached about 8,500 words. My NaNoWRIMO has been going terribly for me. It's going terribly for me this year because of everything that's been happening. But yeah, congrats, Ketabi, for reaching 25K. And congrats, Miguel, for reaching 20K. All right, cool. So, okay. All right. I'm trying to think. So I can probably do another writing sprint, before taking a bit of a break. Yeah. All right. Wow. That's awesome, man. Cool. Hey, you do it. You're pacing yourself. That's the main thing. Okay, NaNoWRIMO is like a marathon. And yeah, like I did NaNoWRIMO last year and passed it. But this year, but a 2-month novel project. It's good. You pace yourself and you can take breaks in between, in order to keep track of your story. Yeah, second week is actually the hardest. Like I actually like this week was harder than last week uh, for writing. Ooh, aliens, as in like alien type invasion or like something similar to like Doctor Who. Um It's pretty cool. How long do you are you planning for your novel to be? What word length do you think you might be looking at? Mm. Okay, that one's super interesting. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. That's awesome. Well, good luck with your project. Um, yeah. All right. Okay. All right, I can go for one more sprint. Okay, 50K at minimum. Yeah, so that's about about a novella. Novellas actually sell pretty well in self-publishing, in KU as well as on like wide platforms. But it definitely works pretty well in like Amazon, because a lot of people will go for shorter reads as well. Thank you. Yeah. Yes, this book I'm doing for Nano is actually the second in the series of Voiceless, which is my first novel. So it's actually the second in the series. It's kind of a slash companion novel within the same universe with a different set of characters. Yeah, and I'm actually on a deadline for that because I'm going to be sending it to my editors mid next month. So I've got to get the overall bulk of the story done this month. So at least if I get 50,000 words, it's the bulk of it in this month. And getting the remaining 30, 40,000 words in 2 weeks, 2 3 weeks is doable. Especially if because it's mainly developmental editing, so I can kind of skip out in certain chapters and move around. Yeah, I'm just trying to like get to the interesting bit in my story because at the moment it's basically I'm still in the first act. Um, yeah, I'm trying to get to the interesting bit where you get introduced to the main big bad, main villain or antagonist, or at least hinted at it. Plus hinted at the themes of betrayal and lies and that sort of stuff. But I've got to finish this. I've got this chapter, and yeah, I think I've got one. Yeah, I've got one more chapter of setup, and then I'll have the inciting incident for both of my POV characters, and then I'll be in the second act. So I've got this chapter and next chapter, and then it's all going to be a lot of interesting stuff like lies, betrayal, manipulation, and yeah, it's going to be more interesting that second act. So hopefully I'll be writing a bit more in that act than what I have been this past 2 weeks. Anyway, all right. How long would you like to go for this next sprint? How many pages are each of my chapters? Well, my shortest chapter is about 1,500 words, which I think is about, if you look in like novel wise, it's probably about 3 pages. But like some of the more interesting chapters where there's an action or a lot of betrayal and all that sort of stuff happening. Can be anywhere between 2,000 words. This is at minimum, and I think I wrote a chapter that's like 6,000 words in my last book, which can be like anywhere between, it could be about 10 pages, 10 to 15 pages for each chapter, which is quite a bit. Yeah, it kind of varies for every book. Like for my books, I've got chapters that are like 2 pages long, and then some are like 15 pages. Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind. We can do another 15. Um, how about you, Miguel? How do you feel about doing another 15 minutes? Yep. All right, cool. I'll put another 15. See how many words we can get. All right, I'll just mute myself. Good luck. All right, I've just got to count how many words I've got. 215. Cool. All right, I've just got to add that to NaNoWRIMO. Cool. All right. I ended up having to go back to part of the chapter because I realized I hadn't put this one thing in. So I had to backtrack. But I am now nearing the end of this chapter. Yay! Yeah. All right. All right, so I got 215 words this writing sprint. How about you guys? How many words did you guys get? One 152 words total today. That's awesome. That's awesome. Cool. So that means you're just over 25k. Cool. All right. What about you, Miguel? How did you go with your word count or word for this sprint? Okay. So it's up to you guys. We can do another sprint. I don't mind, but if we do another sprint, it will definitely be the last one. But I will be doing another live sprint video or live stream next Saturday. Or this is Australian time, so next Saturday from 12 o'clock to about 2 o'clock. So about 2 hours of writing sprints. Next Saturday, again, this is Australian time. And on the 28th, which is the third last day for NaNoWRIMO. But on the 28th of November, I think I put start at 12 p.m. Australian time. So roughly the same time as now, but I'll probably end up doing like a marathon kind of thing for that last leg of NaNoWRIMO. So I'll probably end up, because in Melbourne we have this thing called the Night of Manuscripting Madly, which is kind of like a all-nighter, but I'll probably do on the 28th 2-hour blocks of writing sprints with maybe a half an hour or an hour gap in between the 2-hour blocks for a break. It really depends on people's interests in that sort of thing. Yeah, well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, well, I'm glad you enjoyed it and that you were able to get words in. Yeah, but it's up to you. We can do one more Otherwise, I can probably end it now. Yeah. Anyway, so because you guys came in a bit later than I think you both came in like in the second writing sprint. So you may have missed the announcement I put at the start. I am doing a Black Friday Cyber Monday sale for my debut novel, Voiceless, A Mermaid's Tale, on Kobo, Nook, and Apple, and Amazon. They're the four that I'm definitely going to have the promotions for. I will try and get it on Google Play as well, but it really depends if I can actually fix the promo section for Google Play. Yeah, so there's a sale from the 26th of November to the 30th of November for $2.99 ebook in US, Canadian, New Zealand, and Australian dollars, and $1.99 in British pounds. Yeah, just in case you're interested. All right, so Ketaby and Miguel, would you like to do another writing sprint? Yep. Okay. Do you want to do another 15-minute one? That's all right. You have a nice night. Yeah. Oh, enjoy yourself. I'll be doing another live stream next week at roughly the same time. So you're more than welcome to join me next week as well to get some words in. And good luck with your novel. Okay. All right. Let's do another maybe 15-minute writing sprint, and this will be the last one. Okay. Let's get started. All right. I'll just mute myself. Yeah. Good luck with this writing sprint. Okay, just give me a moment. I've got to count how many words I've got. I've got 198 words this round, which is awesome. It's more than my last, most of my rounds. Just got to add this up to. Hold on. Yeah, 178. All right. Okay. All right, so I've now got 929 words for today. Which isn't bad. So far. I've still got to write. Not even like a fifth of the way through my word count for today. Yeah, 1,339 words in total. That's awesome. I'm really glad you were able to get that much. Cool. All right. I know someone joined us in the middle, like partway through the 5th writing sprint. Welcome. This was actually the last writing sprint for today. So to my other viewers, how many words did you end up getting during this writing sprint? All right. Okay. All right, so that's the last sprint. So I'll be doing this again next week at roughly the same time. So 12 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. I think that's about like, depending on where you are in the US, I think that's about like 10 p.m. night 9 10 p.m. at night when it starts roughly. I think that's the East Coast. No, yeah, East Coast. I think that's the East Coast time. Yeah. And on the 28th of November, the writing sprint that I'll be doing, I will try and do a marathon. So in 2-hour blocks. So write for 2 hours, then probably do a half an hour break in between, then write for another 2 hours with some more writing sprints. Depending on whether or not you guys are interested in that sort of thing. Let me know in the comments if you would like to do that for the last bit of NaNoWRIMO. But that's pretty much it. And thank you guys for coming to my live stream. And I'm really glad everyone's been able to get some words in. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Yeah, 10 p.m. Oh, it's 10 p.m. right now, so that means it will start. The live stream for next week will start at about 8 p.m. your time. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, so the marathon. Yeah, I would like to do that on the 28th because that's like the last bit of NaNoWRIMO. Like last year. Yeah, last year for that day, I actually went with the Melbourne Nano group and we actually did a 12-hour writing session with my group. So I think we went for more than 12 hours. We started at about 5 o'clock at night. I left at 6 a.m. the next day. And there were people there still until like 10 a.m. the next day. Yep. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah. All right. So just in case. Yeah, so 28th of November, I'll do that marathon. Sounds fun. If you want, we can do that next week as well. It's up to you. And really depends on whether or not I have anything else I need to do that day. On the 28th, definitely, I'll do the marathon. Okay. All right. I'll see you guys next week. So for Kennedy, the writing sprint will start 8 p.m. your time. Okay. And I think it would be about the same thing for Yumiel, about 8 p.m. your time as well. All right. Bye. And thank you for attending. Yeah. Yeah. See if I can find it. Unless you guys have any questions, I'll end the live stream now. All right. See ya. I'll just find that. Cool.